guys, welcome back to Feast or Famine with the Youngs.
We are the Youngs, and it is 2024.
Happy New Year! I just thought of happy birthday.
Happy birthday to the new year.
Yeah.
The new year has been birthed.
Ew, Alex.
What?
You can be like that rendition of Kurt being born in Stars Hollow.
Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk.
I thought you said Kurt.
I might have said Kurt.
It is definitely
but
not
I meant Kirk.
It's Kirk.
Do you know what episode I'm talking about?
Yes.
He's like...
He does his like... It's like a stage play thing that he had about his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Already off to the nonsense. This is the I Don't Know What I'm Doing podcast. If you are new here, we are actually Feast or Famine with the Youngs.
And we are the Youngs.
We are the Youngs.
We already said that, but we, like I said, like you said.
Yeah. If you're new here, I'm Veronica.
I'm Alex.
We are the Youngs.
We're off to a
Oh my
great
gosh.
start this year. And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we are a husband and wife photo video team specializing in luxury weddings and events. But we also have this podcast
And other business ventures.
and other business ventures.
Such as a coffee company.
Yeah. And we're just, living life, kicking it.
Figuring it out as we go.
Yep. That's why I said this is the I Don't Know What I'm Doing podcast. If you are a long-time listener, welcome back.
How long is long time?
A long time. I don't know. How
If
long
you've
we've
listened to us in the last couple months.
No. Last year we were like super consistent with the podcast for the most part.
This podcast has been a thing since 2021.
Yeah, but it's been consistent since March of 2023.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, almost weekly.
Yeah. And we're going to keep it going this year and it's going to be dope.
I have a New Year's resolution.
No,
Segue.
you do not.
52
Wah, wah, wah.
episodes this year.
How many did we have last year? You don't know yet because we're not even filming.
30 something?
30?
I'd have to count. We missed a couple weeks. And we didn't start at the beginning of the year. And there's
52 weeks in a year.
So like we're starting week 1.
You are already saying that we're going to have one every week.
No, I think that'd be an amazing goal.
I don't think that I think that's slightly unrealistic based off of our lifestyle.
Not if we keep going like we're going.
Speaking of New Year's resolutions, that's some bullshit, y'all.
We're talking about New Year's resolutions today and how we feel about them. And per what the title will say, which I haven't nailed down at the point of this recording,
Podcast.
but it's going to be something along the lines of
New Year's resolutions are bullshit.
I wouldn't call them bullshit.
That's
but they're
bullshit.
Not,
That's
they're
some
not,
bullshit.
They're a waste of time.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
Hot take.
factual data that proves this point. I don't remember where this data came from.
Okay.
But I saw these numbers that were roughly the same across the board everywhere I saw them. So I'm going to take it as true. And it sounds right because of what we know about New Year's resolutions in general. It says only 9% of Americans that make resolutions complete them. I did see some from the UK, and it was very similar. I'm assuming Canada's similar around the world that celebrate this sort of thing and make resolutions. It's roughly the same. Only 9% of every 100 people, less than 10 people actually complete their resolution.
That's some sad facts.
What makes it worse, this just gets worse and worse as it goes. 23% of people that make resolutions quit by the end of the first week.
Oh my gosh, of January.
This episode comes out on a Monday.
So by Friday, you would have
Friday,
kicked the bucket.
23% of people will have quit their resolution.
Well, not kick the bucket. That would be dying. But you
They
quit.
will have
quit.
quit their resolution by Friday
Damn.
of this episode coming out.
Jeez, that sucks.
It gets worse.
Great.
43%, almost half, are done and quit by the end of January.
Wow.
So almost half of the people that make a resolution don't even make it to February.
Do you think that it's like they set this New Year's resolution and life takes its course and so like they forget to maintain this resolution? Or do you think that they're like, F it? Like, what do you think?
I have
Or a mixture of both.
I have a lot to say about that.
Okay.
And we'll get to that.
Okay.
But let's cement these numbers real quick. 9% of people actually complete their resolution in the year.
Yeah.
By the time February starts, what's that math look like? That is
Don't ask me.
57%. Only 57% of people that made a resolution are still going. Just barely half.
Yeah, or have already like quit.
The
right?
rest of them have already quit.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
by February, only about half are remaining.
Jeez.
Which I knew that was a thing.
Yeah,
like
but like
I
seeing
knew
those
that,
numbers.
but seeing the numbers are mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't even make it a month.
And you know why? You know one of the biggest reasons why I think that is
What?
because it's a quote unquote New Year's resolution instead of just the mindset of goal setting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about is why, like
scratch the idea of New Year's resolutions.
The idea is good.
Yeah.
But
It's a mindset shift.
How they approach it, it needs to be more of a goal. But before we get that far, I did find, and this is probably accurate.
There's
I agree
something
with this.
blinding me. Oh my God.
Oh.
Holy cow. I looked right at it and now I can't see.
Well, don't look that way because the camera's that way.
Okay.
I'm seeing spots too because I look at it.
Holy
Anyway, the top two types of resolutions are always health related or financial related. Like, hey, I want to exercise more, or hey, I want to go to the gym more, or
I want to
lose weight.
Yeah.
I want to make more money.
I want to save money.
Blah blah blah. Some of them are like, I want to be happier.
That's so vague.
And it's super vague, but usually that falls into either get healthier or make more money.
Yeah.
But that goes to show, I think one of the biggest reasons that these fail are because they're so vague.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Because being healthier, being happier, making more money,
that's too much of a blanket statement.
There's no way to make a plan. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to be healthier, but why? But how?
But what does that look like?
Specifically, how do you do that?
Yeah, what does being healthier look like for you?
There's no game plan. Like, I want to be healthier, I'm going to start going to the gym.
Right. I want to make more money, but like, let's put a number on that.
And let's put a game plan on how you're going to get that money.
Yeah.
Like, I think the reason there's so many failures, for one, there's several of these, and I think it trickles down from this one thing, is that it is too vague, and there are no particular steps. So you go into it blind, and you never get there. So then it just fizzles out because it's not trackable.
So step one is to have a plan of action.
You need a plan, and that means making the goal trackable. So if you want to lose weight, set a number.
Yeah.
If you want to be healthier, what does that mean? Do you want to lose weight to be healthier? Do you want to have your cholesterol lowered? You want to get your blood pressure taken care of?
And something, something
you want to be mentally healthier?
Right. Something I want to mention is when you're setting these overarching goals, and I'm sure that you were going to get into this, Alex, but you have to, there's something about, I know that there's probably some type of statistic that we could look up, but there's something mentally that happens when you are able to physically check something off, whether it's like a to-do list or like you've reached something, you're able to scratch it off. And it gives you like relief and it encourages you to go to the next step. So that means that you have to make it measurable.
That's literally what I was going to say.
So like with the one big goal, it is imperative that you have micro goals within that one big goal, because if you are not able to check things off every step of the way, that's not going to encourage you. You're not going to see improvement. You need to make sure that you're reaching micro goals that get you to your final goal.
So like, for example, if you want to lose 100 pounds in 2024 or whatever the year is.
Right.
If that's your goal to lose 100 pounds, that's your end goal.
Right.
But you're going to you're going to lose weight. You're going to like plateau for a little bit. You might even gain some weight if you're doing it right, because you're exercising right, and you're going to gain some muscle. So you're going to end up, and you're going to fall off. But that's only if you're chasing a 100-pound goal only. If you split that up and say, like, by the end of January, don't even say a number. Say, by the end of January, I want to make sure that I'm going to the gym 3 days a week, all of January, minimum. I want to make sure that I cut out soda in January.
And then, hold on, pause on that. And even with like those goals, those micro goals that you're fitting inside of your big goal, put micro goals even onto that. So it's like, okay, one of the things to make sure that I lose 100 pounds in a year is that I go to the gym 3 days a week for the month of January. Mark off on a calendar physically.
Every single day.
I went Tuesday, I went Friday, I went Saturday, whatever the days are. And you've marked that off, and you can see that you're holding yourself accountable for that. And so, you know, what are the next things that are going to keep you going and keep you invested in your goal?
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all just based on
accountability.
You're keeping yourself accountable by being able to track your progress, and not just the progress to lose weight, but the progress to do the things to lose the weight.
Right. By the way, which this is just the example that we're using because it's a very common example.
It's probably the most popular
We're in no way saying that anybody ever needs to lose weight. We're just saying that this is the example that we're using.
Yeah. So like, even if you want to make a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that by investing in the stock market?
Yeah.
Do you know about the stock market? Do you need to learn about the stock market first and figure it out? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to take up a side hustle of some kind?
Or do you want to save money?
Or do you just want to start pulling money out of the paycheck you get to set aside?
Like, even like if we were going to use saving money as an example, that is such an easy way. There's so many things that you can do to track that, like, very easily. Like, this week I put in, like, every week we put in $5, or every week we put in $50, or, like, you know, whatever the case might be. And those are micro goals within getting your main
each
goal.
week you can check off that you did that, or like you bring in, you get an extra $50 that somehow, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and save that.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to save half of that.
Right.
But it's things that you can actually track, and it gives you a sense of progress.
Yeah.
So like, back to the losing weight thing, at the end of January, you didn't focus on anything number related on the scale, because usually the beginning of that is not going to happen. But what you did do is say, okay, I went to the gym 3 days a week all of January, and I haven't had a soda this year at all.
Right.
Great. Keep that going. Add to that.
So what do you say to the people who are like, I haven't had a soda in a whole month, I deserve to have one?
If you want to give yourself
just
that
as
kind
an
of,
example, again,
if you want to give yourself that kind of
reward,
that's fine. But if you don't feel like you can just have one and keep that going, then don't.
You know what I say to that?
What?
I say that this is where accountability comes in. You can only hold yourself accountable for so long. You need other people in your corner to also hold you accountable. So whatever your goal is, whether it's financial, personal, business, find other people that you can trust and that you know that, or maybe even have the same goal or a similar goal, that you can hold each other accountable, start a group chat, start a text thread, something where you can check in on each other.
You're right. And that comes to another point where if you view it as just a simple another goal that you want to achieve, rather than it being this whole big New Year's resolution, I got to be better myself for the resolution for the new year, blah, blah, blah. If you treat it just as another goal that just so happens to be at the beginning of the year,
right,
you're already going to set yourself up for more success. For example,
also, sorry to interrupt you, I feel like a New Year's resolution, like the idea of that and like calling it that, it really handcuffs you into like the first quarter of the year, which...
Well, it doesn't. It only seemingly does that because so many people quit in the first quarter.
But I think that that's another reason why people do quit, is because they limit it to only a short period of time throughout the entire year. So they don't give themselves enough time to actually reach the goal, and so therefore they quit.
They're like, oh, this is taking too long.
Yeah.
Or life happens and they just like put on the back burner. Or
which
they
we
forget,
have
or
been guilty of.
I'm getting to the I'll get to my other thought behind that.
Okay.
But my example was like, so we've never been like heavy drinkers at all.
No.
We are social drinkers. We'll go out and have a couple drinks, but we like to go out to eat a lot. So we would go out to eat and drink, have one or two drinks every time we go out. I was at a point where I was like, I want to take a step back because I have acid reflux issues and I'm sure the alcohol wasn't helping. So I was like, I'm going to stop drinking. And I started to trickle away from that. But the second you decided to also stop, it made it so much easier.
Yeah, which I mean, I stopped for like, it just like wasn't sounding good to me. And so like, I was just like, yep, not feeling it, not gonna have a drink tonight at dinner. And then it kind of just like kept going like that. And then eventually I was like, wow, we are saving a lot of money.
So there's like this extra benefit now.
Yeah, and I was like, and
we feel better.
Yeah, and I honestly, I've lost weight because I haven't been drinking. Not that like
it was never a problem.
It was never a problem. That's not why we quit. It just was something that we were like, it's not something that really serves us anymore. Like maybe like I know, okay, giving this away, we're filming before Christmas of 2023, but like I know that at Christmas, which you guys are listening to this in the new year, so don't get confused.
So Sheila will have already done this.
I will have already done this. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see.
You'll have at least half of one.
I will probably have a Bloody Mary because like for me, that's tradition. I always make Bloody Marys on Christmas.
We always host Christmas. And we always get up and start cooking because I usually smoke something on the smoker, so it has to start early. And like I know that I'll do that, but like it just wasn't something that like I feel like serviced me anymore. So I just kind of stopped. And because I wasn't, it was easier for you to not have any. Because I'm like I said, I'm social drinker. So like if you order a drink, I'm like, I want to have a drink too.
I mean, one of the first things that we would do, we don't do anymore because we kind of stopped already. But we'll be like, are you getting a cocktail? And like we'll ask each other. And like if you get one, I'm probably gonna get one. If I get one, you'll probably get one.
Yeah. And we still do that.
But like we typically don't even get them anymore.
It's few and far between anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, that was just an example of like the accountability aspect and how it's so much easier to do it when it's not just you.
Right. For sure. Yeah. That was a very long thing to get to that point, but yes.
It was a good example because
it was a good example.
It's just, and it helps that we're married because,
right.
But I think in general, as long as you have another person helping you push you that way, it'll help. So yeah, we're talking about you need a goal that's measurable and something you can track. And we call those micro goals. So it's okay to say, I want to do this year.
Right.
But how are we getting there? We need a plan. Got to have a plan. And you need accountability.
And like, let's just not call it a New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Just say, this is what I'm doing this year.
This is my goal for 2024.
Yeah. And it's okay to say that way because you're putting a date on it. You want to do it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's great. Same way with our business. We do that.
Right.
And now I'm going back to what I was originally going to say as far as what I think this all boils down to that's caused by all the things we've already said. And that is you're not able to track stuff, so you get discouraged, or you don't have accountability, so you get discouraged or just aren't holding yourself to that.
Right.
When you start out the beginning of the year, and this is why resolutions are such a big thing, it's because it's a
fresh start.
Symbolic fresh start because you're starting a new year. It's a way to start another chapter.
Yeah.
So you're motivated. You're hyper motivated to do whatever it is that you set yourself out to do.
Yeah.
The problem is motivation only lasts so long.
And you know what? Actually, I remember like last New Year, like January of 2023, I remember like scrolling on TikTok and I have like seasonal depression, heavy, which is why we typically do a Florida trip in February because by then I'm a saddy baby. So I need sunshine, I need warmth, I need things to, like I need greenery, I need plants. And so I remember in January
this year
of 2023, scrolling on TikTok and I see like all of these like it's a new year, like new me goals. This year I'm doing this. This year I'm doing this. I'm motivated to do this. And I was like so deep into my seasonal depression. I was like, this is like major. It felt like I was just like a huge disappointment because everything that I was seeing online is like people just like striving for these goals and like being motivated to do all these things. And I was like, I am motivated to sit on the couch and eat potato chips. And that's about how I feel. And that was like, I don't want that to be like this year. But just throwing that out there, like if you are feeling that way, like this is another reason why I think having a New Year's resolution, quote unquote, it can be unhealthy because you see all these other people doing it, but like you are also your own individual and you have your own personal struggles. And if you have anxiety or you have seasonal depression like I do, like I feel like it's okay to not feel like you have to get the ball going in January.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till January. You do it in December if you want to.
Right.
If you know seasonal depression is coming, do it early.
Yeah.
Do it in December. Do it in November. Get the head start. But also that I think is twofold. And people that do struggle with seasonal depression can sometimes see a New Year's resolution as a way to get themselves out of it because they're motivated at that point to turn over a new leaf, to start something fresh.
I definitely agree with you. Personally, that is not how I felt about it. But I think that you are definitely right about that. I think that most people would feel motivated going into the new year. But for me, it was like I was seeing everybody doing it. And therefore, I was like, I don't want to do it. So don't be like me. Use your goals as motivation. Like, don't fall into it necessarily.
Not use your goals as motivation.
Well,
because they're motivated to.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get there.
Okay, sorry, I keep talking. Go ahead.
I lost my thought. So the reason New Year's is a thing is because people are generally motivated. Obviously, you're not that person, is what you're saying.
Yes and no, but like specifically last year I wasn't. I don't think that it's going to be the same this year, but like last year I wasn't.
Okay. So in general.
Yeah, my bad.
The reason it's a thing is because it's like a good way to be motivated, like get that motivation going, because motivation is one of the easiest ways to set out to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
Problem is the motivation isn't going to last.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as something becomes challenging or you're not making the progress that you were making or something sets you back and you have to like pivot or so like the losing weight thing.
It gets too hard.
You hit a plateau and you're not losing weight anymore. So you have to change things up and you're just losing that motivation because it's like it's not working anymore, or life happens and you get busy and you can't stick to your diet as much as you used to. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Your motivation is going to go away real damn fast.
I think that that's where I was trying to get to, because like me, I did have like goals, but then when I was seeing other people online, it made me feel like I wasn't doing enough, or I wasn't achieving enough, or I wasn't achieving it fast enough. So I think what I was trying to say is don't fall back on like those types of like accountability resources. Have your own personal accountability.
Right. And also,
that was a really long thought process in my brain, so I apologize.
And also, when you are motivated at that beginning, focus instead of the overarching goal or the micro goals you have, focus on building a discipline to get there while you're motivated. Yeah. Because when you're motivated, it's easy. Mm-hmm. When you're not motivated, if you don't have the discipline set up, right, you're not gonna keep going.
Right. So this comes down to like knowing yourself and knowing.
Yeah, so figure out like, what is it going to take for me to get here? So I need to make sure that I set these things in place so that it becomes a discipline, so that I do it even if I don't want to do it. So if I want to lose weight.
Safety nets. Is that what that's like, a safety net?
No.
No?
No, it's a safety net is easy. You can let go and start
What is it called? Like, what's it called when you, it's like safety, you put safety nets in place so you don't fail. Basically, right?
No, this isn't doing that, because you're going to fail. This is discipline. It's literally discipline. Okay. It's creating habits to do things when you don't want to do them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that comes in place of like, if you're want to lose weight, instead of saying, hey, I want to lose this much by the end of January, say, I want to just make sure I'm at the gym 3 days a week. So that doing it 3 days a week for a month, you are creating a habit that has become a discipline that you just are going to do.
Right.
You wake up, if you're not feeling it, you're still going to go because you've been doing it for a month.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you doing?
I'm looking up something that I saw someone talk about.
Okay.
Discipline. Just keep going. Okay. I'm listening.
So it's basically habit building the good habits to get you where you want to go, like losing weight, like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So that when you aren't motivated, you'll still keep moving forward.
So my friend Christina, she made a post recently about discipline, and I really loved it. And I'm just going to read it word for word. This is straight from her. She said, I think society at large has the origin of discipline very backwards. So like and there's more to this, I'll keep going. But when you're talking about you need to have things in place and have patterns of discipline to make sure that you're continuing your goal and not giving up, I think this is exactly what she's talking about. So many use discipline as a form of punishment when in reality it's a form of self-love.
So she's talking about discipline in a sense of like,
it's not punishing yourself.
If you mess up, you're disciplining yourself.
Right. But it's not punishing yourself. You're
creating good habits.
Yeah. And it might be uncomfortable, but like you're making yourself uncomfortable temporarily for a permanent greater good, which is your overarching goal.
Because this is in reference to probably exercising and stuff, right? I'm assuming.
Maybe. I mean, she's a gym fitness person,
it's
but
not
like
just a fitness thing, but that's just the easiest thing to relate
So she
to.
said, when you stop using discipline as a weapon against yourself and instead use it as a tool to love and take care of yourself, everything will change. If you struggle with discipline and hate it, let this be confirmation that discipline is not a problem, but a perspective.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
It's all about the mindset behind it.
Yeah.
So you're not saying, I don't feel like going to the gym today, so I'm going to... Nobody ever says, I don't feel like going to the gym today, so I'm going to punish myself and go to the gym anyway.
Right.
But that in other aspects of life, that's what people do. Like,
right.
I want to land this client and I'm going to punish myself that I didn't land this client. But what you need to do is hop back on the horse, figure out what you did wrong and do it again.
Right.
It's kind of different ideology, but it's the same concept.
Yeah, for sure.
You mess up, as in you don't want to go.
I honestly think one of the root issues is that a lot of people don't have discipline.
I would
argue
that
itself.
Most people don't have the discipline.
I mean, I know that I struggle with it.
We all struggle with it and in some shape or form. For the last, 15 years of my life or more, I've been very disciplined about going to the gym and exercising. The last year and a half, not so much. Yeah. And it's gotten so bad that I've lost that discipline that I had too.
Right.
Where I would get up and go and I'd make myself go just to get it done.
Yeah.
But because I'm so far removed from being that consistent, it's harder to get me to, it's harder to go. You
also are a different person when you're going to the gym.
What do you mean?
Like for the better. Not that you're bad now, but like on days where if you're crabby when you wake up and we would go to the gym, by the time we get home, you're so happy.
There's scientific.
Yeah. I am not that way. I'm yeah, I did it.
You think you think that, but there is scientific backing to show the proof of how that is accurate and how true that is and why it is, because it is about a chemical imbalance in your brain when you are crabby or in a bad mood or stressed or whatever. All the cortisol in your brain that's your brain secreting is causing you to be not happy. Yeah. So when you go to the
physical
gym, activity pushes out adrenaline, which helps with your serotonin levels, and in general all the good feeling hormones, to crush out the cortisol, so that you are in fact happier.
Yeah, for sure.
So anybody that tells me, and I went to school for exercise science.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my background. And I feel like I've said that before.
You have totally said that before.
On the podcast.
Yeah.
But like, I get crap from my family and friends all the time because they'll be talking about issues that they're dealing with. And I get in trouble and I get made fun of because
you know what can help that? Go to the gym.
Exercising and eating healthy is my answer 95% of the time.
You know what can help that? Diet and exercise.
But when I say that, it is true.
It is true.
It is true.
But it's so annoying. We're like, we know, Alex, eat your carrots, go to the gym. Like,
but it is true. Like, Dad just had to have surgery on his bicep tendon.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to help the fact that he tore his bicep
You should have done your TheraBands at home.
Of course, going to the gym is not going to fix the fact that his bicep tendon tore.
Right.
But what I was telling him, and because he stopped me immediately and was like, I get it. That's not going to fix it. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying you wouldn't necessarily be here if you had been doing what I said the last several years, because you're going to build elasticity in those tendons and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, Alex. This is not a fitness podcast.
Totally sidetracked. Maybe I should start one.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
You actually would low-key love that.
Probably. Maybe I should do that and just bring in fitness influencers.
We know
Several.
enough of them.
I know several.
Yeah. What would you talk about? All the different muscles?
No. I'm not really sure. That's why it's not going to be a thing right now.
Oh my God.
If ever.
Okay. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. I hope that this is beneficial.
But that is also, I think that's also the reason why I feel like in general, if there's goal setting type things that we talk about on this podcast, that's generally where I go.
Yeah.
Because it has been so much a part of my life for so long.
But
that
also
it's
an easy goal that like I feel like every single human have thought about ever. I want to lose weight this year.
It's easy for me to talk about, and it's super relatable to literally everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why I talk about it. And we're digressing a little bit, but that's kind of why I always fall back on that as my example.
Right. Yeah.
So, don't be one of the 43% that quit your goal. Because
I honestly think, like we talked about some tips and steps to take to make sure that you can reach your goal. But really the first step, I think, is don't call it a New Year's resolution. I feel like that is, I want to be kind of just honest and be like, how old are we? Like, let's just make it achievable goals. Let's not call it a New Year's resolution.
you can say New Year, New Me. Here are my goals.
Yeah, here are my goals.
But let's take those statistics that I said at the very beginning and replace the word with resolution with goals. What this is saying is that only 9% of Americans that make a goal in January actually achieve them.
Yeah.
23% of people that make a goal in January give up on that goal by the end of the first week.
Yeah.
43% of people
At least give it a solid 14
that
days.
make a goal in January give up on that goal by the end of the month.
I feel like you're going to know this statistic. What is the statistic period of time to actually quit a habit?
Ooh. Oh, so
Do you know what I'm talking about?
back to another exercise analogy.
Okay.
I'm gonna look that up
while
It's not
you talk.
like, this isn't a scientific number, but it's always been an analogy that I use when I was like training people back in the day and all that stuff. It takes 6 weeks to start losing weight. Mm-hmm. It takes 6 days to gain it back.
6 days?
Okay.
Really?
I
That's scary.
literally just said to
What
you
is that? Eating like 5 Big Macs every day?
Veronica, I literally just said that this is not real factual based numbers. It's just an analogy.
Okay.
That is mostly true to a certain extent. So like when you start going to the gym for the first time, I'll use a different example. When you start going to the gym for the first time, it takes you 4 to 6 weeks for your body to get used to you going to the gym, for it to be like, okay, we're serious about this. Let's start seeing results. Because the first 6 weeks, you're not going to probably see any sort of results.
Yeah, you have to constantly remind
However,
you of that.
if you're out of the gym for 6 days, in most cases, you're taking steps backwards. So it's about building that discipline because it takes longer to start it than it does to go back on it.
So I just looked it up. To quit like a bad habit, it takes roughly 30 to 60 days to quit a habit. So this 23% of people who are quitting in the same week aren't even giving it a realistic time for that mindset to set in stone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like at least do yourself some favor and at least try for 30 to 60 days. Like give it a solid go. Because the 23% didn't even give it a solid try.
No. The 43% didn't even get a solid try.
And then how crappy are you going to feel when you're like, oh, I quit on day 7?
So think about it this way. If we're talking about the fitness side of it, the exercise, getting healthy side of it, if 43% of people give up, that means 43% of people that said they're going to exercise more gave up before that or by the end of the month. If it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get your body used to being in the gym so you're more comfortable and you're actually starting to see results, those people were only 2 weeks away from that
from seeing results.
From starting to see results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give up on your goal that quickly because you don't know how close you are to actually starting to see the progress.
Preach it, babe. Wow.
This isn't really related to building that discipline, but it does show about like how hard it is and how much like effort it takes to build certain disciplines.
Okay.
So in college baseball, we were our coach would always talk about muscle memory because in general, in sports, certain movements require very specific and very calculated movements. So you have to be, like if you're swinging and taking swings at a ball on a tee to get your swing perfect, you have to have, now there's statistics all over the place, but I'll use this one. Some experts say between 40 and 50,000 perfect repetitions.
Oh my God.
To create muscle memory.
To swing perfectly.
So if you want a perfect swing, you have to have 40 to 50,000 reps that are perfect to build that to be muscle memory. That's extreme. Not even pro players
do that.
Have muscle memory swings.
Right.
Because when I'm saying muscle memory, I'm talking like you do it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
That is how difficult it is.
Wow.
So like you're swinging, you do 100 swings and they're perfect. As soon as you do a couple that are not perfect, you're starting back over.
Ooh. Yeah.
So it's very difficult, and
to have discipline.
Muscle memory is the hardest part of creating that kind of idea. And we're not even trying to.
But that's very specific.
We're not even trying to get that far.
Yeah.
We're just trying to build good habits.
Yeah.
So it just takes doing it over and over and over again while you want to.
Right. And while you're motivated.
Which is why when you want to.
Yeah.
To make sure you can do it when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that is what's going to make or break you reaching or not reaching your goals.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like you telling me like on the days where we wake up and I'm like, I do not want to go. And you're like, I don't want to go either. But if we choose to go today when we don't want to go, we'll feel better about going the next day and the next day because we're going when we don't want to. Like those are the times that are going to make or break you reaching your goal.
Not one single person ever has said that they regret going to the gym.
Yeah.
They all have said they regret not going to the gym.
Right.
So
this isn't about going to the gym, guys.
So to put it in a more vague, broad sense, you're going to regret not taking steps toward your goal, but you're never going to not regret taking those steps.
Right.
Even if you don't get anywhere, you're one step closer.
Yep.
You haven't moved backwards. Because not taking a step forward when you have the opportunity to, is just cementing yourself as someone who's just kind of leaning back the other direction.
Right.
You may not take that step backwards yet, but you're definitely starting to.
Yeah, for sure.
I
think that was good.
I think I don't really have, without repeating myself over and over and over and over
I
again.
know. I don't want to do that.
I need 50,000 repetitions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is good. When you have this idea about the New Year's resolution, I thought that that was a good idea, because most Americans, I feel like, have some sort of like New Year's resolution, or something in mind. So I think that this is good. Just make sure that whatever your goals are for 2024, that you have micro goals within those goals. You can check off, you can track your progress, and then find friends, family, even if it's like an acquaintance, like someone at work, like whoever it is that can hold you accountable on the days that you cannot hold yourself accountable. That is how you will ultimately reach your goal.
Right. So make a plan and just do it.
Yeah.
Nike, just do it. Sponsor me, Nike.
That'd be awesome.
Sponsor me, Nike.
Yeah. Yeah, as he wears an Adidas hat.
So yeah, and this goes for business goals, for personal goals, for just life goals in general.
Yeah.
Just if you have a plan and you break that plan into more achievable, trackable things, just follow the path and you'll get there. You may not even get there in the year that you want to. But if you are closer in December than you were in January,
you've still made progress.
Then you've still made progress.
And that's a win in my book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Get out there and achieve your goals, friends. Okay, well, that's all that we had for this one. We have lots of fun things up our sleeve for this year, so make sure you guys stick around with us. I think we have chatted about we're having new episodes every Monday / Tuesday.
Yes.
If you understand that reference, we might be best friends, except, and I'll go ahead and just say it, Jenna Marbles,
Always said that.
GOAT, the absolute GOAT of YouTube, had new episodes every Wednesday / Thursday, and she would say that in her little spiel. So ours is every Monday / Tuesday.
Because it sometimes is on Tuesday.
Yeah, a little homage to my favorite YouTuber who is no longer on the internet.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her. I
mean, miss her though. I miss her deeply.
She grinded and did her thing for so many years, and now she doesn't have to really do anything.
She's not in the media at all. And
Yeah.
I miss her so much. Like, I know her, but I don't know her, but like I know her, you know?
You know?
You know?
No.
All right, guys, we will catch you on the next one. Peace.